In the next few moments, the construction of the Gakrux Dyson Sphere will conclude at long last, and what a wild project it's been. Hello Legion, this is Hadrian. Thank you for being here. Let's play some more Dyson Sphere Program in our Alpha Andromedae series, where we are... how close? That close. Closing in on 10,000 cells away from being done, and we currently have how many in the air? 2,813. Well, air is a very suspect phrase. But in the last episode, we spent some time making sure that sail production was actually appropriately increased, and we're really starting to see the fruits of that when you look at the health of these supply lines. I'm going to fly around here to the very far side, where these are actually being fed in, and we should be able to see the difference. So yeah, these lines are still quite full. We have one that's mostly not full, which is very interesting to see. And I'm also kind of surprised I haven't... Did I fly past it? No, there it is. There it is. There it is. Okay, everything's fine. This is such a massive planet in terms of, like, the sheer amount of productivity collectively across all the resources that I'm building here. Also, notice how many of these we have here, which is insane. Can't build anything more on top of that. That storage is absolutely full. But anyway, let's head back to the tower for a moment, because I want to get a sense for why... Which one was it? It's this one. Why is this one empty? Okay, I see why. Hang on. You are gonna flip your whole path. There we go. So that should help that one fill up a little bit more, because this path is completely full. And it looks like this one is mostly full. Kind of a belated, you know, effort to completely ensure, you know, we're firing as many cells as we want, but, or as many sails as we have capacity to fire. And it's not... Everything we've been doing, let's be clear, for the last 10, 15, 20 episodes, has just been, as the formal saying goes, for shiggles. Just because we felt like it. Because it would be kind of cool. Because this thing has been on rails for a good while. And the sails that we now see passing through space are some of the very last that are going to be requested in order to fill this thing up. We're now under 10,000 from the completion of this sphere. And one of the reasons that I know we're rapidly moving towards this point is, again, the caps are actually done. See? This cap is done. 48,350 planned, 48,350 constructed. Look at the bottom. Same. So it's completely finished, with the exception of a few panels up here, all of which actually have 5 nodes as opposed to 4, which makes it super easy to finish up in record time. I didn't realize how, like, directly under this particular Dyson swarm I was. It looked thin coming at it from that angle. There we go. There's that glow that you expect. I was looking at it like straight from a top-down angle, and these are all facing the star proportionally. So if you get this thing at the right angle, yeah, see, now the light almost completely fades away for a moment there. And that's where I was. I was like, wait a minute. Why does that look so meager? Oh, wait. It's a trick of the camera angle. Let's take another look at our production situation, shall we? Yeah, we're definitely doing better now. This is over the last minute. It looks like we have over 1,000 more solar cells being produced per minute than are actually being fired. And if I warp over to Gakrux Prime, I'll bet you those... Hello. I bet you those lines are starting to fill up quite nicely now. Yeah, this outer line is full. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Much better than it was. Interesting that we have so few arc smelters here being sent. I think... Or not arc smelters. Yeah, arc smelters. I was thinking plane smelter because of these, but the original version is called an arc smelter. And you would think we'd have more, but we just aren't producing that many at the moment. It's okay, though, because we have God knows how many plane smelters in my inventory. How many exactly? 443. There you go. There you go. Well, while we are wrapping up here, we might as well go ahead and start emptying out the inventory a bit. All of these are already overloaded with deuterium. Can't put anything there. Can't put anything here. Yeah, I have nothing in my inventory that... Hang on, I can put some things in slots, I suppose. So there's that, at the very least. I can do that. We have that there. There we go. We might as well conclude the series with a little bit more of a sense of of organization and sanity to all of this. All right, let's go ahead and put that there. There we go. I still have, like, so many... What possessed me to build so many miniature particle colliders? That's my question. That's all I want to know. Also, I have so many quantum chemical plants, it's absurd. But I can't really complain because it's been useful having that many. I do have a lot of graphene on me that I don't need. So why don't we go ahead and find... Here we go. There we go. That's better. And if I come over here, there's actually a place where I can put some of these extra materials. Specifically some of the extra sails. Yep, there we go. Done. Now the thing is, if you're wondering, will there be a clear visual indicator when the thing is done building? The answer is actually no, because these things will fire continuously. We did have the clear visual indicator when the rocket portion was completed. Remember, the rockets are what built the frame, and when the frame finished, rockets stopped launching, and that's all she wrote. And the frame's been built for how long now? Probably close to 50 episodes. Maybe not 50, more like 30, 40. But it's been close. Oh yeah. Closing in on about 6,000 at this point. 6,050 sales. And the remaining work is split between all of those top panels that I was pointing out. And also solar sails continue to distribute themselves, I think, very, very nicely. Yeah, so this line is completely full now. This one's getting there. I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and flip this line here. Since there are so many that are coming in from this direction. There's no filter set up here. A lot of them are going that way. And now that line is filling up quite nicely. It's such a hilarious little final project, just for the sheer satisfaction of it, to see if we can get these to fill up in the last few moments. We've already finished our mission complete research. That kind of blew through a lot faster than anticipated in the last episode. Look at all these things. Look at them. It's insane. Okay. So one trip I think that I can take before we wrap up here Let's do a couple of things. Just to feel somewhat functional for our last episode, let's head to Leonis Minoris. Because I haven't actually visited the refinery world for a while. And there might be some things that I can do there. Just to feel like I'm leaving that in slightly better condition. Our maintenance tour that we went on, maintenance cruise as I called it, over the last couple of episodes really helped out. But there's not a ton to do. How much wattage does this thing have at this point? 283. And that's the combined Sphere and Dyson Swarm, which is not inconsequential, the Dyson Swarm itself. I should say both Dyson Swarms. Crashing against the atmosphere a bit, hence the turning you can see there. That's not me doing that. I mean, I'm turning in, but it's the atmosphere of Leonis Minoris 2 that's causing the camera to turn outward like that. Alright, so everything I see here is that this is still functioning. It looks like oil might finally be running low here, which is not hugely surprising. Let's see if there's still a decent amount that can be harvested anywhere. This was something that was kind of... Things were moving in this direction a while back. And there wasn't a whole lot that I was thinking I was going to be able to do about it. Let's take a look. So there's a crude oil seep there that I'm already harvesting. There's one there. I think, to tell you the truth, I'm pretty sure that I've already put every single crude oil seep. Yep. Every single crude oil seep on this planet is already being exploited. So there's nothing more that I can really do to improve this situation. What I would do if we were continuing this playthrough ad nauseum, if we were doing multiple spheres, if we were, you know, going grander in some way, what I would probably do, yeah, you can definitely tell that it's producing less. What I would probably do is go to one of the Sakura ocean planets that I have and start rebuilding something like this there. Because there are definitely other planets in the star cluster, including other ocean planets, that have that much oil output. But right now, there's no need to do that in the grand scheme. So I won't worry about it. Nice to have a look around there. There is Alpha Andromeda. Let's head that way. Meanwhile, we'll take a look at the Dyson shell here. Oh yeah, the number's down to 1,620 cells being absorbed. And you can see it ticking downward because there are so few left to place. We're closing in on 3,000 away. And that's just, you know, between the top and the bottom side here. Oh, there's Alpha Andromeda. I had a feeling. I was like, I should probably poke my head back out to the control screen and see where we are. And I was right. Here's our decorative Dyson Swarm. We've got a couple of decorative Dyson Swarms. Well, this one's purely decorative. I shouldn't say that, though, because it is providing power to the planet. This has been one of the less important Dyson Swarms, though, in the grand scheme. Okay, so it looks like everything here is solid, because we can't produce any more of these Casimir crystals. Yep, we're supplying hydrogen here. And we have some... I don't think I need to do anything in the way of graphene. I think that problem is mostly working itself out. Yep. Even hydrogen, look at this. These towers were full, and this is starting to empty out. So hydrogen is no longer an issue here, especially since I'm refining deuterium again. Let's go check on those towers and see how quickly they've filled up. Oh my god, I think I... Are you flippin' serious? Okay, so we do have some that are empty. So basically some of the front towers have emptied out into the back towers. but it's still almost completely full, what I just built. That's the amount of deuterium that we're currently producing. What the crap? It's insane. Also, look at all these. I have so many of these just available. I can't export them, but I do have them here, and they're just like ready to go. Don't need to do anything here. Hang on, let's go to the local planet. Yeah, we haven't had a power issue on this planet for a long time. It's just not been a thing. Ooh, you're actually light on hydrogen. Why is that? Where are you getting your excess hydrogen from? Pray tell. If you wouldn't mind explaining that to me. Alright, so all of your hydrogen is coming from where exactly? Okay, I know where this is going, I think. I think this is the one that goes around the back. Actually, no, that gets directly exported. That needs to change, I think. I think we can safely say... Yeah, you know what? Here's what I'll do. I'm going to set that. And now that should allow a lot more hydrogen to make its way down that line, and we won't have an issue with these not being produced. Because we don't have as big of a backstock of these as we should. So that's the kind of issue that I prefer to catch. And this mine is done. That's nice and satisfying. Let's go ahead and delete that. No more coal there to worry about. That does unfortunately mean, however, that we might be starting to run low on coal. Yes, we are. Do we have any more on this planet, though? We still have 788,000. Where? Looks like mainly underneath. Yeah. Oh, man. There actually is still coal. Wait. You know what? It might be under the buildings. I might have hidden it. And is there coal anywhere else? Yeah, there's coal right there. Anywhere else? Maybe? No? Yes? No. Yeah, there's small deposits here. And that's it. Which, frankly, I'm not going to worry about. This is a pretty massive backstock of coal, and I'm not burning through it fast enough for it to be a concern at this point in the series. We're in the I've been saying stuff like that for a couple of episodes, but we're in the last episode. Okay? Okay? Look at this. Look at this. We're closing in on 1,000 to go. We better get back to Gakrux if we want to actually see this through. Because if we're lucky, we'll get there when we actually see the final sails leaving the belt, leaving the Dyson Swarm in order to join with the Dyson Sphere. And this has been a long time coming. We just crossed the 99-hour mark a moment ago. We won't quite make 100, but it'll be close. It'll be close enough for me. Oh, wow. The bots brought me more stuff. I would say I'm surprised, but I'm not. They were doing their job. That's been another thing that I've gained from this series. I didn't really come into this series using logistics bots a lot. Again, I played Dyson Sphere Program a lot when it first dropped, and kind of went back to it every couple of months, really enjoyed it. But some of the more recent logistical additions and some of the latest updates, I haven't been as familiar with. So this series has been amazing in sort of adjusting to those things. Oh, wait. The last sails might have already been pulled. Let's find out. Oh, there they are. Okay, yeah, it's just they're so faint now that you can't see them as clearly moving through space. It's hard to make them out against the background, but they're there. They're there. So the final. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna hang out. We're gonna try and get our speed right, and we're gonna just be synchronized with this point in space to the best of our ability. And we're gonna watch these sails leaving these Dyson swarms. And this will be a nice Zen way to end a nice Zen series that this has been. I'll say a few things when we're done. But at this moment, you can still see every few moments. All right, let me slow down to about this far. I'm not sure what the orbital speed of these is. It seems like it's probably 500. That would be my guess. But also, I feel like as I'm moving here, I'm definitely moving along the belt. Like I need to slow down a bit if I'm really going to do this. Oh, wait. It might have just happened. It might have just happened. I think it's happening. I think the final spheres might already all be in flight. Or the final sails. All right, so this sail that I'm looking at right here, I think is the last in its current line. There are others close to it, but I think this particular sail is about to finish out, maybe at this node up here. Seems like that's where it's going. Notice that, like, oh, this is nuts. Oh, it's going to go through. It's going freaking through. Awesome. All right, hold on. We get to follow it through the sphere. Isn't this crazy? Like, we're going sideways because we're also keeping up with the rotation speed of the sphere. So if we're really following this thing, like, we're actually at an angle while keeping up with it. It actually does seem like there's another one following behind it, but I might be wrong. I genuinely can't say that I've ever done this before, where you just have a massive Dyson sphere that you're building and you pick up a single sail and you just follow it to its node. All right, we just traveled through the entire sphere. Okay, it's definitely in a queue. We're going to follow the right one. No, don't autosave. Oh, terrible timing. Oh, now I'm not sure which. I think it's this one. Man, I had my camera fixed on that one. Oh, shouldn't have slowed down. Now it's getting away from me. Got to keep up with the entire rotational speed of this thing. Yeah, see, each of them feed into the nodes perfectly like that. And they've been doing that for the entire series, slowly but surely. And what we'll see, actually, I think we just saw it. Yeah, that's it. That's the end of that particular line. It might even be the end of the sphere. Hang on. Yeah, it is actually. I think this is it. I think we just happened to be at one of the last nodes. There might be another one somewhere, but by the time this sinks in here, we'll be at completion. And this is what the inside of a completed Dyson sphere looks like. No more being absorbed. That's it. You can see the solar sails still firing furiously, but this sphere is complete. And I'm glad that I split up the last episode because this has been a nice 27 minutes, and I've still got a few things to say. If you're wondering if I have a script, I really don't, because this series, when I started it, it was the second series back, as I've said a few times. First one being Against All Challenges, the meta series in the Long Dark. Long Dark being a very popular game on my channel over the years for its sandbox nature, much like this one. But for the next series, I very deliberately chose something, this game, that I had never played in a Let's Play format before, that I knew would be challenging to a high degree, not just to narrate and to describe, but to cognitively process. I took it on because, not that I felt that I would do an amazing job at it, but because I knew it would be fun. And I knew it would be a really deep and relaxing and fulfilling and exciting journey. This is a very... Granted, the combat update is coming, so you'll be able to play Dyson Sphere in a more anxiety-inducing way. But this is one of the most zen gameplay experiences I've ever had in my life. Dyson Sphere Program just allows you to... you can see the equatorial ring through the sphere. You can see it. You can see the dark ring. That's freaking cool. Dyson Sphere Program just allows you to build at your own pace, to build what you want. And if you want to put a Dyson sphere, like that one, around every single star in this cluster, you can do it. If you want to put a Dyson sphere around the big guy, CE Tauri, which is, of course... Hang on, was that the big one? I think it is. 20.69. Yeah. If you want to put a Dyson sphere around that, you can. If you want to make it a small one, you can. If you want to make it a massive one that's like as big as it can possibly be, like a Thenon, and then realize that you've made a terrible life decision and that you're going to be building a Dyson sphere for the next 50 years, you can do that. It's great. You can do it. And then when you finish it, especially if you're a sci-fi nerd like me, if you have any appreciation for the quality of this game's simulation, if you have any appreciation for space, for science fiction, for planets and stars and exploration in general, it is just one of the most satisfying sandbox experiences that I think I've ever had. And in a way, it's bittersweet for me to be concluding this series now, because I wish, I really do, that I could like take you back in time with me. If you go back on my Twitter timeline, you can find it. I was posting some pictures, but it's not the same. Like, if I could have experienced this, as I've said, I said this early in the series, but like, this game is one of the games that came very close to like helping me bring my channel out of hibernation sooner when I started playing it in early 2021, because of just how much fun I was having. And this piece wasn't even in the soundtrack yet. So it's not just I've shut up and listened to this like twice during this one episode because I love it so much. But like, it wasn't even, you know, just the music, just the total experience of Dyson Sphere Program. Look at that star. As a simulation is so impressive and so deeply relaxing and fun and nerdy, I guess. Credit where due. That, you know, when I was first experiencing it, it was just joy after joy after joy. And this series has largely lived up to my hopes, but I wish I could go back and like re-experience that initial discovery of it. You know, if the channel had been online, I certainly would have been doing a series in it pretty quickly because of the sandbox nature of it and how much it fits the channel. So all that having been said, again, I don't have a script. I'm not working from a script because this was a game that I decided to bring to the channel simply because I wanted to play it and because it would be fun and because it had meant so much to me during the time the channel was offline. So it felt in some ways, you know, and I just sort of decided to wing it, you know, with this. Like, I wasn't going to have a big plan. I just wanted to play a game for my second series back that was going to be fun. And interestingly enough, that's a segue into a little bit more technical or logistical, no pun intended, discussion of the future of this game on the channel. And I've kind of talked about this throughout the series, but to really crystallize it and say it in brief, this series did last longer than I thought it would. We are on episode 161 right now. You'll recall at episode 85 or 90, I was just like, yeah, we're going to wrap up, you know, not long after episode 100. Naive past Hadrian. We laugh at you. So obviously this series has been going, you know, if you consider daily content and consider that maybe not every day has had an episode, there have been some misses here and there, some pauses, and now I've got the rolling blink built in every week to where there's always a day off for each series. If you take all those into account, it's been like 2.5 months of extra content in this episode, in this series, that I've been doing while wanting to do, that's not the right way to phrase it. I haven't been playing this while wishing I could play something else, but I've had other plans in addition to this and all the other series I've been doing. And because this series has still been ongoing, it has taken up a bit of time for me that I didn't anticipate it taking up. And so now that we're at this point and the series is ending, there will be more Dyson Sphere Program on the channel. I'm going to take a bit of a break from Dyson Sphere Program for a couple of reasons. First of all, we're going to let this time slot just sit quiet for a bit and let the other slots build up a backlog and, you know, just kind of get my workflow in a really good place. Now that this series, which has run long, has run its course, we're going to do that. But also just because I want to play Dyson Sphere Program offline and learn some things. There were definitely lots of holes in my understanding that became very obvious as I played through this series, and I want to be a little bit better the next time I do a series. So if it seems like, you know, if you're here because of Dyson Sphere Program, I really encourage you to check out the other content that I have on the channel, whether it's running right now or whether you want to go back and look at older series and games that you're more interested in than the ones I'm playing right now, because that sandbox element I mentioned a moment ago, that's really what ties everything I play together. It's these games that really engage the imagination and that give you a sandbox to let your imagination play and roam around and discover a story as your activities in the sandbox unfold. And everything that I play, in one way or another, touches back on that central theme on the channel. So there is something else here for you, even if it's not obvious. In the same way, by the way, if you think that sounds outlandish, I brought this game to the channel knowing that it was connected, but knowing that it was so different from everything I played in the past. So there are tons of people, including established channel members right now, watching this series who have just started watching more recently because it took them a while to really see how the game fit in. So I guess what I'm trying to say is the same is true in reverse. You can, if you're just here because of Dyson Sphere Program, if you're newer to the channel, there's probably a ton of other content, even for games you might not be familiar with, just like they were not familiar with Dyson Sphere Program, that might whet your appetite in the game's absence. I don't know how long I'm going to take a break, but I do know definitively what some of my other plans are, and they're plans that I've discussed pretty openly since the beginning of the year, that taking a pause in this time slot will allow me to recalibrate and focus on some of those initial goals that I had when I brought the channel back online. Because here we are in July, and this series is still here. I would have thought that by, April or May, we would have been wrapping up. So now that we have seen this project through and the Gakrux Dyson Sphere is complete, I'm going to finally be able to see to those other projects, and I'm very excited about that. In terms of future Dyson Sphere content on the channel, I don't know necessarily that I will do another full playthrough like this. I'm not saying that I won't, I just don't know. I haven't decided yet, because this has been a behemoth effort. So I think at the very least I might wait for a major update before I do like another full run. I think that's one probably very wise thing to do. This run actually did coincide with an update, if you can believe that, the January update that added clouds. If you look at the original thumbnail for episode 1, that's one of the things that's in the thumbnail, is the fact that there are clouds in the game now. So that's been added, and they're going to be adding the content, or the combat content, very soon. And when that goes in, that might be one reason to do a fresh playthrough. But I also have some ideas, and I want to continue to develop those ideas as I practice with Dyson Sphere Program. I have some ideas for other types of content that I might do that involve shorter form, both videos and series, that aren't necessarily full series in Dyson Sphere Program the way that Alpha Andromeda has been. So once some time has passed for a bit, and once I've had the opportunity to complete some of my other goals and run a few other series and let this time slot cool down for a bit, I will revisit Dyson Sphere Program in not just one form, but more than one form in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and for all of you who have arrived on the channel as a result of finding this series. Again, this was a very special series for me because it was one of the first ones that I did after the channel had been gone for 2.5 years, and I deliberately chose to play it even though I knew that I would not be, as I said a moment ago, would not be good at it. And I did it anyway. I'm really glad that I did, and I'm really grateful for all the people who have, not only the people who have enjoyed it from the start, but also I'm grateful for the people who have said, I wasn't feeling it at first because I wanted you to play a certain way, but the more I saw the joy of just discovering it as you went and playing it for the sake of playing it, the more I really started to appreciate your approach. I've gotten that comment from multiple people, and I'm not trying to put words in your mouth and make other people say that. I've just received that multiple times. You know who you are. I'm grateful for that too, because that's been really, really amazing, to see people, through these sandbox games that we love, not just Dyson Sphere Program, but the Long Dark and all the other games, strategy games, simulation games, to help bring audience members around to this notion of it's never about perfect play, right? It's never about being amazing at playing a game if you're making content, because half of the experience, more than half of the experience of most games for me, is the story in my head that's forming as I play. And that's why I share videos on YouTube. That's why I started a YouTube channel. That's been something that I've done with games literally my entire life. And it has been an absolute honor and a blast to explore that theme and explore that mode of gaming in Dyson Sphere Program with all of you. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the series, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to follow along. If it's not your first time or even your second, look for the join button to access unique emotes, badges, and other perks. New episodes of this game, not this series, but this game, are going to be coming out every day, but Tuesday, most likely, might be a different day off by the time the series comes back. We'll see. It'll probably remain noon U.S. Eastern Time, because I feel like people have a soft spot for that time slot in Dyson Sphere Program. So we'll probably bring it back at this time slot when it's time, or possibly it might fit in the science fiction slot that Stellaris currently occupies, which is 3 or 4 p.m. later in the afternoon. But most likely noon US Eastern Time in the future, but we'll see. When that happens, it'll be a new patch, it'll be a new day, a little bit of time would have passed, and we'll be ready to go for another run in this glorious space sandbox of ours. Comments are always welcome. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next series.